Welcome back to Investing and Trading Live, sponsored by Trading Academy as always. I am your host, Josh Lilquist. On the last segment, cover some strategies and steps within that strategy, but you got to have some rules in an investment strategy. And that's what we do here at the Academy. We're an academy that trains people just like you how to invest, how to trade, how to get started in the markets if you're brand new and don't even know what you need. Or maybe you're a seasoned investor, have 401ks, IRAs. We've been seeing a lot of those people, Al, that have been coming to these investing classes that have saved up a decent amount of wealth in their life, and they're concerned about protecting that, but they also need to grow that. Some of them want to leave a legacy. So we're seeing a lot of those people also that are coming into these investing classes to make smarter investing decisions with those retirement accounts. If you did miss seats for those investing classes, simply just text the word investing to the number 210, and that's for 2 seats, one for you and one for a friend. Or you can go right to the website. You can go to investingandtradinglive.com, or the title of the show, investingandtradinglive.com. There's a couple different opportunities on there for you. We do appreciate and love our subscribers and followers on the podcast. If you do miss part of the show, Investing and Trading Live, you can simply go to Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify. Just type in the word Investing and Trading Live for the show, and you can catch part of the show there. Also, the outtakes. We got the YouTube Live going on. Just go to Josh Lilquist on YouTube, and you can check out that. And you can also register for those investing classes right through those podcasts and YouTube as well. So in this segment, Al, I know you want to talk a little bit about the importance of leverage, but I just want to give a little backstory here before we do that, because most people know how people buy homes. Most people use a mortgage. Most people don't use cash and just pay in full. But they have a mortgage, which is leverage, right? So what they do when you purchase a home, if you're not familiar with it, you get a mortgage and you take a small down payment. So let's just say it's a $500,000 house. That's probably right around what most homes in this area that we're at right now are. And let's say $500,000, and you have $50,000 saved up. Well, people are like, well, I can't purchase a $500,000 house with $50,000. Well, you can, because you can use a mortgage, which is buying power. So essentially, you take that small down payment, right, and you control that whole house, $500,000 house. You can use that same type of concept in the financial markets. So if you think about stocks here for a second, just to paint a bigger picture here, stocks is like paying cash for your house, because you need the physical dollars, and you have to put the physical dollars, all of it, into that stock position now, which I think is kind of backwards to what most people want to do. I mean, not many people, even if you had, going back to the house reference, $500,000 in your checking account, you wouldn't just pay cash for your house because then you're broke. You're still going to use a mortgage, maybe a bigger down payment, whatever that may be. Now, that's the importance of leverage in our everyday life. That concept also applies in the financial markets. I want you to break that down a little bit, some of the leveraged assets and some of the benefits that you have by using a smaller amount of capital.
Yeah, in that first segment, I mentioned one of the reasons that people don't get involved in the markets is that they feel they can't afford to. And that's true if you're just looking at being in the stock market and you want to participate in some of the companies that, when you think about what's moved the market, some of the companies that have moved the market, the Magnificent Seven, those stocks are very expensive. Some of them have split now, but we have some equities out there that are trading in the $1,000 plus range per share, $200, $300, $400, $500 per share. And it's pretty hard to make any money if you're only buying 1 or 2 shares.
Well, even look at the ETFs. The major markets are pretty expensive.
They're all, if you're looking at an ETF for the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ or the Dow, we're looking at several $100s per share. Mm-hmm. So one of the things that you need to consider if you're going to be a trader investor is how much money does it take for you to make money? That's the important thing. And if you could have a small amount of money that controls something that's much bigger than that amount, that's like the mortgage that Josh mentioned to you. You have a $500,000 house. Well, maybe you only put $40,000 or $50,000 down to actually now own that house. You can do the same thing in the financial markets by using leverage. And who uses leverage? All of the big players do. When we talk about the Wall Street professionals, we talk about the big institutions, hedge funds, people like Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett really is a proponent of buying and holding, telling you to buy shares of a company, just hold on to it for decades. But he also doesn't tell you that he makes about $8 or $9 billion a year trading these leveraged assets. And we're talking about things like the options market, the futures market, the foreign exchange market. And, we can almost hear people gasp when we use those words and go, oh, no, that's too risky. I can't do that. Everybody that does that loses. No, they don't. All of the people that use them properly have the opportunity to not only do well, but to have returns that far exceed what you can get in just the regular stock market.
So basically, it's because you're using less capital, that rate of return is much higher.
The rate of return is much higher. If you look at options, for example, if you see maybe a 3 to 7% return in a stock, because you trade an option on something like a stock. So if you have an option contract on a stock, that stock is up somewhere between 3 and 7%. The option is going to be up close to 100 to 200%. So you get a much greater potential return, but your upfront investment is much less.
So what that really does, Al, too, just to paint a little picture, is it allows you to use your other capital that's just idle, safe, protected, for other positions as well, so it's not all being tied up, correct?
That's correct. Yeah. Instead of just having one position, you never want to just have one position. You want to have some diversification. Well, if you're putting, 20,000, 50,000, 70,000 into one position, that does not leave a lot for you to have diversification. So instead of putting, say, $20,000, $30,000 into a position, you could use an option as an example and possibly have control of 100 shares of that particular asset for under $1,000. Could be $400, $500, $600. We show you how to use these assets in a way that is unique to you and to your financial situation. If you have a small amount of money, but you want to really participate in a way where you can have outsized returns, you almost have to use one of these leveraged assets. Don't worry about not knowing about them. Everybody that trades them at one point in time didn't know anything about them, but they learned. And that's what we do. We not only show you how to use a strategy that's going to identify the right entry price and the right exit prices for whatever you're trading, but we also have education classes and educational tools on every asset, not just the stock market or bonds, but futures, forex, option, cryptocurrencies. And we have all of that available in one place, and it's a bricks and mortar location.
Yeah, and that's really the importance of utilizing the dollars that you have as being efficient with them, and then you can do other things and have other opportunities with those dollars. We have classes specifically on options, specifically on how to use leverage, how to get started with leverage safely, properly, so you can do that with confidence. Simply just text the word investing to the number 210 right now for 2 seats for an investing class near you. Text investing to the number 210 for 2 seats for an investing class. When you do that, you'll get a text right back, and it will give you a link to our landing page for that investing class. You can also just go to the title of the show, investingandtradinglive.com. So, Al, you talked a lot about options there, and gives you great options, no pun intended, in the financial markets. Now, there are a lot of listeners right now, great jobs, they want to do more though. They have some time, say in the evening, where they can utilize or maximize their time to do other things financially. Now, there's leverage assets that are open 24 hours a day. Right. You have the futures market and the forex market, which means the market's open at night. Talk about some of those opportunities for people that are listening that want to have maybe another income strategy in the evening.
A lot of people have jobs that require them to be present somewhere or to do some work during the 6.5 hours that the stock market's open. That really limits your opportunities and your ability to be involved in the markets, or at the very least to manage your risk, manage your portfolios. So if you have the ability to trade something that is open almost 24 hours a day or open 24 hours a day, you can kind of choose when you trade. And one of the things that people find, Josh, everybody's a little different as to how they succeed in these markets. Some people do well trading early in the morning. Some people do well trading late at night. But part of being successful is to have a plan that you follow that identifies that. And that requires some time to be able to do that, some repetition of things. You'll identify times that are maybe better suited for you to be trading. But that gives you an opportunity to not only to participate when you want to, but also to manage your portfolio on a 24-hour basis. We have to remember that because our market closes at 3 o'clock in Minnesota, or in the central part of the country, that doesn't mean that the whole world shuts down. There are things going on round the clock financially that can impact our stock market. In fact, one of the big things is earnings. When we go through earnings season, earnings are always announced either before the market opens or after the market closes. If you're just trading in the stock market, well, it's closed when those announcements come. The futures market isn't. The Forex market is not. So you have an opportunity to maybe take advantage of news that will have a negative impact on the market or a positive impact on the market, but you can be prepared to take advantage of it.
Yeah. What are a couple things, say, in the futures market people can trade?
Well, there's a bunch of things. Look at the futures market as a family. If you want to trade the stock markets, you can trade all the major stock markets. You can trade foreign stock markets. What about commodities? What about things like sugar, corn, soybeans, lumber, and Josh's favorite?
Lean hogs.
Lean hogs, skinny pigs, gold, silver, oil, currencies,
Platinum.
interest rates. It is probably the only asset family that allows you to have true diversification. Things that are not correlated to each other. Some things are inversely correlated. Some things are correlated. One of the mistakes that people make in listening to financial advisors is that they will tell you they will protect your portfolio by having you diversified. What they don't tell you is that for the most part, you're being diversified into one asset category, and that's the equity market, the stock market. The stock market, when we go through bear markets or major corrections, the correlation becomes huge, which means that even the good companies that haven't done anything wrong, that are having good earnings, they get taken down with the bad ones. So everybody kind of gets hurt during those major market corrections, but that's not the case if you're using something that maybe is inversely correlated or has no correlation. Josh's favorite, lean hogs, that has nothing to do with what's happening in the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ.
Probably not.
There's no correlation there.
You mean technology and lean hogs aren't correlated?
Well, I can't say that. There may be
There might be some microchips in them or something. You never know.
There's technology involved with everything, but not as far as how it impacts your investment.
Yeah, I like that. With being properly diversified in multiple assets like commodities, gold, which is your metals, S&P 500, if you do like the stocks.
Right. Yeah, by the way, if you want to be a day trader, if you're day trading stocks, you will put yourself in a position where you are considered a pattern day trader, and you have to have a minimum of $25,000 in your account at all times.
Yep. If
it goes below that, you have to add more money or not trade. But with the futures market, you can day trade futures every day that the market is open, and you're not considered a day trader. So that 25,000 rule does not apply.
And the great thing with that as well is you can pick your strategy. You can short-term trade, you can long-term trade. It really doesn't matter. It's just a term. And that's what we train and teach here, is what will work for you. Each individual has different time. Each individual has a different schedule. Everybody has different amounts of capital. How do you maximize your time, your schedule, and your capital? That's why we have these investing classes specifically for you. How to utilize leverage in the markets. How to utilize a 24-hour market to find what's the most opportunistic for what you need to create or fix or protect with your financial markets. So come into one of these classes simply by texting the word investing to the number 210-210. And that'll be for 2 seats for an investing class near you. We have these classes all across the metro area. Right here at our state-of-the-art facility, that's where we have the studio. That's where we're recording the show here. And Al teaches these. I teach these as well. We have a great time talking about folks that are looking to get started in these markets and continue to build their finances. text investing to the number 210-210, or go to investingandtradinglive.com, and we got a couple opportunities there. Al, we have a lot more to discuss. Make sure to stay tuned. This is Josh and Al, Investing and Trading Live. We will be right back.